Hello and welcome to TidyX episode 37. All right, TidyX is a screencast where we go through and explain how our code works. My name is Ellis Hughes. You can find me on Twitter at Ellis_Hughes.
And I'm Patrick Ward, and you can find me on Twitter at OSPPatrick, and you can find both of us on Twitter at Tidy_explained, or you can email us at tidy.explain@gmail.com. All right. TidyX 37, we got a fun one today.
Yeah, okay, so this is unlike any of the other TidyX we've done before. This is completely live. Live in the sense that we haven't practiced anything. We haven't gone through any of the code we're about to go through. We're going in blind, and we're going to kind of talk through the steps that we would do that was actually inspired by these series of tweets here. So Ben Baldwin tweeted out a screenshot of some code that he wrote a year ago going, oh my God, look at this code. And Patrick, of course, replied.
Yeah, we all have code like this that you wrote, and you look back on it and it's horrible. And in your gut, you're like, oh gosh, I really should change this. But then in the back of your head, you're also like, it's going to take so much time to change this and it still works, so I may as well leave it. Yeah. So Ben, who does a lot of great public space work on NFL and is one of the co-owners of the NFL FastR package, which is a way to get play-by-play data. He tweeted out this code, and then I kind of shared in his misery and said, I have some code like that. And then Ellis volunteered us to make his code and do this live. So just a backstory: the usual way that these screencasts work for us is we look at the Tidy Tuesday data on Tuesday, and then one of us sort of takes the lead on building we both find something that we like and we say, oh, what do you think about this? Let's try and do something like this. One of us takes the lead on building the project. And then on, whenever we record it, Saturday or Sunday morning, we spend about 20 minutes saying, okay, what have you got? Oh, that's kind of cool. Let's add this in and let's change this. And then we literally hit record and we go. So we do like a 20-minute prep, and then we're straight in. This is zero prep, and we're just going to try and literally rewrite what looks to be from Ben it looks like he's trying to take a JSON file from the company Sports Radar, who produces lots of sports data, stats, tables. So it's a JSON file, and he's trying to take that JSON file, which has many, many elements to it, and he wants to spin that out into a flat table that represents every play-by-play stat, for a game. So basically, which 22 players were on the field, the play description, so whether it was a run or a pass, what the clock time was, all of that stuff. So we're going to try and do this live. And what's going to make this also really weird is that because of COVID-19, we're in two different places. So I have no control of the keyboard. So I'm going to be like verbalizing sometimes.
Yeah, oh no, click there. So
put a bracket.
Yes.
Put a
so let's plan this out. Okay, use line 9. Wow, English. Line numbers when you're describing where you want me to be clicking. I think that'll be really helpful for me.
Okay.
And I'll zoom in so that hopefully it'll be clear. And then if I'm just typing stuff and not verbalizing what I'm doing, stop me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Those are good rules.
Good rules.
Let's run Ben's code, I think, as it is and what we're looking at.
All right. Yeah. So let's do that. So whenever you're refactoring code, a good idea is to run everything to make sure that you don't accidentally change the format of what you're outputting. Because typically you've already set it up so that you're trying to output to a certain format. And that's what your code is doing. That's why you spend so much time. That's why your code, it's functional. I think it's functional. Don't worry about other stuff. Alrighty. So let's do that. So I've run that. So he's reading in this RDS file from this site here. He just did a quick print here to look at the team. So this looks like Atlanta and Seattle week 1. Then he's creating an object, big data, and then he's going to loop 2 through the length of every play. So for every play description, he's going to loop through all of that, pull out a chunk of information, concatenate it into a vector, where then it has the play sequence, the clock, and the description, and then R-bind it together. So that basically he's building up a data frame at this point. All right, warning message.
What's the warning bar?
R-bind, number of columns result is not a multiple of the vector length. Interesting. Well, I mean, it's a warning, so we're going to assume that this is still functional, because we actually, I mean...
We're going to assume it's outputting what he wants.
Yeah, and he's converting it into a tibble. It's giving a warning error about name repair. That's fine, that's not a big deal. Then because he's actually setting the column names he wants to here. Then he's adding some information about the home team and away team, so they're the names. Let's run those. He's reassigning them again, so that's, I don't think we need to do that, or whatever, we'll just run that. Assigning the week, assigning the season, then he's jumping into mutate here to calculate time.
Oh yeah, looks like quarter and time, so first quarter 10 minutes, first quarter 9 minutes, yada yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So running all that, and now he's got data, so this big old data frame.
What we got? Okay.
So there were 175 rows, so 175 plays?
175 plays, I guess, between both teams. If you figure offenses might have played, off the top of my head from that game, 75, maybe 70 to 75 plays, and then you have special teams, right?
Yeah, and then 32 columns for each player.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so, okay, cool. So we've got a data frame. I'm going to quickly save this.
Yeah, okay.
Just so that we can continually compare against this.
Yeah, that'll be good.
And so I'm going to do, all right, this is then, we're going to use here, here. So I'm setting the path here so that I can be lazy and not type out the whole thing. 03, this is episode 37. Code review. And then slash, and I'm going to call this Ben Baldwin's original output.
Yeah. Ben
Baldwin original.
There you go.
He's an original.
It's a Ben Baldwin original. Sure.
Alrighty, so I'm going to leave his code here. I created a complete copy of this. Like I said, we haven't done anything to it yet, but I just created a copy of it so that we can kind of munge around with it and then continually go look back at what he did here.
So I guess a few things like right from the jump that stand out is he's got this big for loop, and then after that for loop, there's a bunch of manual work that has to take place, which is fine, but like I'm not a fan of, because I don't want to do manual work. I want everything to be in one single function, so it just does it for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the first thing. And then the second thing is, in the for loop, he has I starting from 2 to length. So we're going to need to figure out why he didn't start from 1 to length. My hunch is that, and I don't know, because I haven't messed around with the Sports Radar play-by-play data as much. There might be issues where sometimes there's like a null play, or like there's I don't know how they treat penalties in their data, like those kinds of things. That might be something that we're going to have to account for, but we want to do it programmatically, because we're going to have to run this. I'm assuming he would want to run this for many, many games for many teams over an entire season, all in one shot. So if we write a function to do all this, then we can wrap that function in map and basically pass it like, hey, give me everything that, all the play-by-play from week 10. Yes. And then, so that would be that's kind of my initial going in seeing what he's producing at the
I am in concurrence with that. Also, this R-bind here. So this is a common thing that a lot of people do. I mean, I did it for the longest time, but R-bind is really inefficient. And so I guess we didn't really have to worry about speed here because there's only 130 rows, but just generally speaking, I avoid R-binds as much as I can because it is a slow process in R, and people complain about speed in R all the time. I'm like, it's not actually that slow. So I would actually suggest making Big Dat a list and inserting each play into a list item or into a list entry, and then doing a do call R bind at the very end Or if we're using per, we can use the map DFR to avoid having to do this, and it's just going to make it a lot faster if you're having to do it for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. The other option is, instead of this big for loop, you can really, inside of a function, parse each one of these sections. So for example, he's got home players here. So like it says home players I, which I is reading the length of the play, and then it's saying, so somewhere in that list, if we were to run PBP $home $players, what does it show us?
Oof.
Oh, okay.
So it's another list.
It's a list of names.
Oh gosh, this is subset super weird.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the ways that I've always that I have done this stuff in the past is inside of a function, like lapply is a base R function that will apply a function to a list. So for example, I could pass lapply to this here, this plays $home players thing, and so then put like a comma. Yep. So that, and then comma, and then do inside of quotes. Do a okay. I was gonna do it a different way, but let's see what you do.
Oh, I was like, I'm just going to jump into a function, right? Because that's lapply.
Oh yeah, you know what? The way that I would do this, actually, because I want to remove that element from each list, is I would use inside of quotes just one single bracket, and that's how you extract a column. So then I would take name, and then quote name, and this is going to give us the name.
Let's run this. Yep.
Boom. So then we can unlist that, and now we have all of the players, and then we literally could just write like a repeat 1 to 175 plays, 1 through 11, and that'll give you the player for each play.
If we double quote it, it'll turn it into a single vector, because right now it's still a data frame. If we double quote it, it's now a vector.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Yeah.
Or a single vector. So then we can just do a do call. So this is what I'm referring to, the do call rbind.
Yeah, there you go.
And this should, we'll have to double check this. Did this do it properly? So let's take a look. Let's assign this output. That's complaining about something. Home players. So let's do dim on home players. So it's 175 rows by 12 columns, so we're good with that. Am I zoomed in enough, by the way? Or should I zoom in a little bit more?
You could zoom in. That's good.
Okay.
Why is it 12?
Because 12? There's 12 players.
11.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
11, right? It's 11,
I
11
wonder...
v 11. NFL is an 11 v 11 sport, Ellis. Come on. Now,
what you talking about?
Maybe there was a play where there was too many men on the field.
That's what I was about to say.
Right.
12s.
That's kind of weird.
So let's just do a head on home players. Interesting. So it repeated this.
Scroll up a little. What is it? Okay.
Oh, no, that's fine, because each row is a new one. So that's fine. But yeah, why are there 12 players? Oh, because it repeated.
Interesting.
So we can't do... What we'd want to do is rather than...
the way that I would have normally done this was with the single bracket and then done a unlist as data frame and just had one column of all the players for that game, and then assign them a play number, a number within a play.
Because I was thinking this way. I didn't account for too many men on the field. Because now it's duplicating information here, which is obviously wrong.
Who is getting duplicated? The first player.
Yeah, the first player gets duplicated. So just because of this rbind situation here.
You know what? What if we didn't use a do call, but we used a map function? Won't that handle that'll just drop NAs in the 12th position everywhere, wouldn't it?
Yep. So let's do that then instead.
Yeah, that should be better.
Home players, we're gonna sorry, so this is going to be replacing this H piece. So basically what we're doing, we're ignoring the 4. Oh, I wonder whether, because we looped across all of them, so including the first one. I wonder, let's take a look at the first one. That's 11.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, what we could do is do a player.
We could do like a which has name 12 or something like that, right?
Yep. DFR. So we're gonna do end row. Isn't that argument 1 must tilde
A tilde,
dot x.
yeah, and dot x.
Argument 1 must have names.
Oops, maybe 1.
Because this is a data frame, and I can call end row on a data frame. No, I can't. Not like that. That's not how you do it. Yeah, so it should be able to now map. Let's just do, oh no, map DFR. It's map double. Result 174 must be a single double. Let's just do map. 11, 11, 11, null.
Oh, there's a null play.
There's null plays in there. Let's just do map, and then do call C. So then we'll just get a vector, and boom.
There it is.
Yeah. So play whatever number this is.
Whatever
so,
that is. Yeah, like 85.
So then just we'll do which.
Yeah, do a which.
Dot equals 12. No, I'll just do equals 12. So what I'm doing here is equals. So like when you're doing 2 comparisons, that's actually a function that you're running. And so you can put these back quotes around it to make it actually behave like a normal function. So play 96.
Row 96, or play 96. So play 96 has 12 men on the field, and play, what was it? 174 was a null. So those are things that will.
Yeah. So home team here has too many players. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have to address that. That's kind of annoying that you have to deal with the multiple players there. So let's do map DFR, just so that function. Let's call this X. I know that's bad convention. Let's just call that player dot. Then we're gonna take player dot $name, and now we're gonna spin that out into a data frame. I wonder if we can just do map DFR and whether that would be happy. No, apparently not. Map and then bind rows. Nope. Alrighty. So let's take name, let's pipe it into a data.frame. We're gonna, so this way now it's a data frame. And then we're gonna T it.
Transpose it.
Transpose.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do set names is equal to 1 to end row of player dot. That way we're setting all the names to be 1 to whatever column names. So when it bind rows, it'll respect all that. Or not.
Oh, what happened there?
All right, let's check out this again. Let's check my logic. So players, let's take play 11, and we're gonna convert that to player dot. So then we've got player dot name, data frame, so we get that.
There you go.
Transpose it, we get that.
Well, if you've already, I was going to say, if you've already turned it into data frame, what if you just did a pivot wider?
I feel like that'd be overkill. what if we were to do? Because I think it's not printing like a data frame here.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So my suspicion is that let's call it class. It's converted into a matrix. So if we do that, that doesn't work. Helps if I don't miss any of that. There we go.
There it is.
There we go. We can do this. We can get this done. What argument? Oh, because null plays. If is null player dat return null. Else. So these error checks are things you do have to add if you're starting to use functions. So what I'm doing here is, okay, subset to keep this record. Now check to see if this record is null, because it was trying to run this on a null value. And obviously that's not going to work. You can't run t on null. And bind rows, so I guess we could do a map DFR, I think. Yeah, there we go.
And there's...
Let's do a head of this. Yep, there we go. So now we've got NAs for the ones that don't exist.
And so the map DFR is super helpful because it'll just automatically know that, hey, there's no 12th position on any of this, so just drop an NA in there.
All right, so then we're going to rename this. We do want to remove that first one still. I'm still confused about why. Maybe Ben can comment and tell us why. This, because the first play looked fine to me. I mean, not that I know much.
I wonder if it's trying to handle the null in there. I don't...
But the first play wasn't empty there.
Yeah, right,
whatever.
Right.
We're just going to call this home.
Yeah, home
players.
Yeah.
So basically what we're doing is we're kind of getting away from this for loop here. We're now going to comment that out. So now this is H. Now we're going to do the same identical thing for array. Yeah. So maybe what we want to do is we want to convert this into a function.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want.
All right, so...
I don't think we want to convert it into a function yet.
Okay, because we'll just be copying and pasting it down for A.
Yeah. Well, okay, I was going to say wrap everything in a function. So you have home, away, plop it all together, get all the other pieces that he wanted. But I see what you're saying. You mean a names, like a player names function explicit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. All right. So let's do player names. So now we're going to create our own function. So we're going to assign it to an object. We're going to need to pass arguments, but here it's only going to be a list of the. No, it's not. It's just going to be the data frame.
Yes, it's called player dat. Yeah.
And then I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to clear it out here. So this is the same exact function we just wrote for our per functions here, but I just extracted it out. So that way I can paste this in. So rather than having all this, I just do boop, and now it'll run. So let's build. I keep on saying this, and then it keeps on biting me in the... Okay. It just didn't figure out how far to look up the tree to figure out how to run it. Alrighty. Badoop, badoom. There we go. It works. And now rather than having to write all this code again, we also do player names. And now this is away players.
Yeah.
And badoop. There we go. So now I've got the two things here. So now what we want to be pulling out is the play sequence, the clock, description, type.
And those should be pretty...
They look like they're flat.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to be... I mean, run play sequence. What does that give us? Okay, so this is a play ID, it looks like. 40, 50. Yeah, okay. And how... wait, check the length on that, because we did start from 2 to length play descriptions. Let's just make sure. PBP.
Plays.
Sequence.
So 176.
And how many did we have for way? Yeah.
175.
Okay, we're one off. You know what? Okay, can we check the play sequence on, or can we look at clock and description? I'm curious about description in particular because he said to play description.
Yeah.
And does play description have that null value? Remember we saw a null value.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder what the. Okay, there it is. NA. So
an NA could be there though. NAs are fine. It's nulls that are an issue.
Well, what about the clock or the type? Maybe a play type if it's not a play.
Let's just do a head.
Okay.
So the first play he's ignoring. Well, let's actually because this is 176, and so I guess they don't count kickoff.
I don't know what is the head of away players. Let's see who the players are. I'll tell you if it was kickoff or not. Basically, if Russell Wilson's not on the field, then it it wasn't. Wait, let's see. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, but we started.
No. That's definitely that's a kickoff. Ben Burkervin, Jason Myers, number 5 is the kicker.
Yeah. Okay.
Player 5.
So he's ignoring kickoff.
What is his, go to his run head on his data. Head data. Let's make sure.
What is it? Big dot.
I think it was called data.
Yeah, because he's ignoring kickoff because in this case there was no play. It was a kick and this was a touchback, and so there wouldn't be a sequence. There wouldn't be a clock change.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this makes it difficult then because then you have to account for cases where there is a play on kickoff versus not. So in this code, it would always ignore if there's a kickoff.
I think if we were going to... So there's a few things already, right? If you're going to use this over multiple data, I think we should write it so that it can handle any null plays, whether it can handle the kickoff and it can handle 12 men on the field penalties.
Mm-hmm. So right now we have it handling the multiple players. So I'm just going to kind of clean this up a little bit here. I'm going to just delete the extra code here. That is another thing that I struggle with is I will refactor code and leave the commented out code in there just because I might need it. I might need it.
Got to go all in. Who was it? Christopher Columbus. Burn the bridges. Burn the boats. What was it?
Oh God.
When you get to land, just burn the boats. We're not going back.
Yeah. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do here is actually I'm just going to delete all those.
Yeah, because we're not doing a for loop anymore.
Yeah. So we're not doing a for loop, so we don't need all that. So let's p by p type. So this is. Let's look at this because this might give us the information we need here. That's 176 as well. So I actually wonder, could we just do play-by-play plays and just do that and throw that into like a C-bind? I'd be really surprised if this worked, but...
What do you see binding with the home players?
Because... oh yeah, wow, this literally does everything. So this is not what we want. But this is going to take this P by P plays. So play by play. Oh wow, that's just awful to look at.
Yes. Amazing.
So it's just a bunch. Let's do an str on it. That might help. Nope, that's still pretty awful. So each entry is a play.
Yeah, each entry is a play with players, rough jersey numbers. Yeah.
I don't like the structure of this. This is just an awful structure. I'm sure it works for like JSON or for other stuff, but for me, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But now if we do, let's call this to add. That's why it's not toad. It's to add. In my head, I was reading it as toad the entire time.
You know what? So was I. That was interesting.
Head.
G-head.
Head toad. Because I was... no, what I want to do is play-by-play. We want to keep... sequence.
Yeah. Sequence, clock. Description.
And so because we're doing we're working with a list here, if you use single quotes it'll retain its list, but because it's named too, we can use the actual names to tell it, I want these columns to keep. So it's going to retain its list structure when we pull this out, but we're able to identify which ones we want to be keeping. So this will now be less unwieldy with that. But now, so the part of the issue being, oh no, that works because
that's everything. Do a dim. 170. Okay, play 74. There's the NA. It was a pass play, so it must have been a penalty, I guess.
Yeah. Alrighty,
yeah, okay.
but let's just a dim just to make sure. I mean, I guess we have the tail there to know. Yeah.
Okay. What? All right. And how many did we have for the home players and away players?
Dim.
We're one off because we removed kickoff.
But we didn't remove kickoff.
Well, no, we didn't remove kickoff. He removed kickoff. Okay, that's kind of weird. Is it possible that on the NA there are no players? Like, is it possible that because it's a null play, there would be no players to register as being on the field?
So let's do home players 1 because that would tell us, and let's just do a table because I think you lists it. No, what home players, because it's. And then na.rn, or what was it? Use na if any. I hate this sequence. That's not it. But what about away players? But we were both at 175 for that.
Well, they're both the same. Yeah, they're not different. I think it has to do. I think it has to do with the. You know what? Can we check? Can we do like a which NA for that like PBP plays date like
Oh, and just like knock that out.
Well, let's just see. Let's see how many times there is an NA. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let me just quickly let's call this sup for supplementary, just so we have this.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was going to say, like, if we did a which is NA PBP plays description equals true, maybe then we can see how many NA times that happens. Like, is that because there was more than one penalty in that game?
Yeah.
So, is it?
Yeah.
No, it only happened once.
But which is that? So
if you do which, that'll give us the number, won't it?
Description. Yeah, once I.
And just do which is NA is dot NA equals true. You need a. No, you got it. Just after the is NA, do equals true, because that'll.
It's because I hadn't created the sup data frame.
Oh.
Yeah, I had. What?
Yeah, no, you had it. I think you had it right.
Yeah. Supplementary.
Yeah.
So, because I gotta convert it into
in that data frame, yeah.
There
in that data frame, just check the descriptions column equals true. There it is. Yeah, 174. Okay, so there was only one NA. So it must have been like. It must have been a weird. It's not a penalty play. Maybe it's like one of those weird plays where the referees blow the play dead because like they have to reset the play clock or something like that. Like, so if we drop that play,
yeah,
I think we should have everything that we need.
Yep.
Okay. So
hopefully that's the right thing. Ben, let us know.
Let's yeah. Well, we're about to find out. Let's join it together and see if things kind of match up. So Toad.
Well, I'm gonna remove all that, so then we can just do a Tibble.
Yep.
And then actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to alter these so these also have set names. So then we're gonna call it paste H.
Yep.
Paste 0. So paste 0 is going to concatenate them together without an extra space in there, and I'm going to do it 1 through 12 because, or let's do n call.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, just to cover ourselves.
That's a really key point. Like whenever you're building functions, you want to try and refrain from hard coding numbers as much as you can, because as data changes, the function breaks really quick.
Yes. So we have away players, we have home players, and we have, I mean, I should probably, it's now not going to match his order though, so I should match his order. What did he do? It was,
I think he had like play details up front, no?
yeah, play ID, time, description, play type, then home, then away. Alrighty. So, and I should not put the underscore in there. Doop. Doop. Boop, boop. Ba-doop. So supplementary. Then we have home, players, away players.
I think that's,
and this will be Big Dad.
Yeah, because the rest is going to be messing with the clock and the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And
cool, so we've got that. Big Dad.
Comma after away players.
That's not going to mess it up. I mean, not good to leave in there. But, so let's just do a quick double check to make sure that things are matching up between what's expected. Oh, no, oh, no, shoot, I overwrote Big Dad. Well, that's why I saved it as an RDS before. So now we're going to go BB. So Ben Baldwin's Big Dad. Read RDS, home, Tidy Tuesday. So this is just the path where I store stuff for the TidyX project. 037, 037. Code review. Ben Baldwin original. No package called home. It's because it's here.
Because it's called here.
You're supposed to correct me on that, Patrick.
I didn't notice it. I didn't notice either.
So let's just do a quick comparison between our Big Dat and Ben Baldwin's. So BB, Big Dat, and then let's subset to keep the call names of Big Dat. So this is a good thing to just like, once again, as you're refactoring, to be comparing against, once again, what you're aiming to create.
Yeah.
And then we can use the package test that.
Yep.
And we're going to expect equal. And so now this will compare the two.
Type H12. Well, his only has H11.
Oh, so he only kept.
You know what? Pull up. What was it? Play 94. What does his play have on play 94? What does his data set have on play 94 where they had 12 men on the field?
This is awful. Let's throw this into a T. I think that's a little bit easier.
I wonder if he just dropped like the 12th player. So it was on, you said the offense, right? Or it was on Atlanta.
Yeah. Call names, Tibble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
He literally only takes the 11 players.
Yeah.
That's what it is,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's only keeping the 11 players. So we can do that too. If that makes sense. Or, I mean, let's just leave it in there, I guess. Just knowing that that's going to be a little bit different. And it shouldn't impact anything that he's got because it should be only looking at the column names.
Yeah, and what is the play type? Shouldn't it say like our description? Let's see, where's the description of play 94? I'm curious if it says like penalty, too many men on the field or something.
And this is description.
Yeah, I think he calls it desk, DESC. Yeah. So.
And what do we have?
That's so weird. It doesn't say it was a penalty, but we had 12 players. Maybe we got away with one.
We're on a
different play.
Oh, because remember we're not going to match up because we kept all of them. We kept all the column or all the plays.
Yes.
So let's take a look at dim Ben Baldwin big dat 175.
We should be at 176.
We're at 175 because we removed that one NA. So apparently that isn't the thing.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so yeah.
God, this is weird because so I think what's happening here is let me go back to our code. Sequence and clock don't tick forward or don't have a record for the first. No, that's not true.
No, they have a record. It's 15 minutes. 15.00 for the clock. It's the start of the quarter.
But it'd be listed. It should be listed twice because there'd be the touchback and then there's the first play.
I get. Yeah.
They don't.
No time has come off the clock.
Yeah, and so but they don't list it twice. Like if you look at supplementary, let's look at columns 1 and 1, 2, 3. So
no, they do.
It has 15. That.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, oh gosh, what happened? How is Ben getting a different count than we are? Or I guess more specifically, why are there only okay? So that has 176.
Yeah.
Do all of ours have? So we shouldn't be subsetting by NA. We shouldn't be removing these NA fields here.
But we have to because there's no players on play 174, right? The players are, because 174 is a null. Something happened, right? There's no play. There's nothing tagged. So there's no players that were.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Right?
So something happened on play 174.
Right. It's a null play. Like well,
let's look at this player. Did we already look at this? And I'm just like mentally spacing.
No. Yeah, we did. Yeah. So.
Sequence. So they don't have a clock. So is it a free play?
I don't. Let me.
Because there's no clock too. So here, let's plays. What other type of stuff would we want to potentially? Let's do EBP plays names.
See if I can.
Deleted. Oh, deleted. That might be useful to know. Deleted reference. ID. Let's see if that will give us some additional information about this, because this would be good to know to see, because we're obviously seeing strange patterns here. So deleted equals true. I wonder if BB big dat sequence. Oh no. What did he recall sequence? Play ID equals 44768 is dot any. So this is checking, are there any plays where this is true? Oh, it's just any. So he did keep this wrong. So his code is, I think, might be wrong in this situation.
It's
keeping a play that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I think is happening.
All right. Sorry about that, Ben.
It's good to know.
Good to know. I think that's it. Once again, you can correct us afterwards. Going in and not really knowing the file format or expectations on this. But yeah, I think that would be the way to do it, because deleted equals true. So let's filter on that. Because that should give us the information we need. Right?
Yeah, so the deleted table was what?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so something. I wonder what happened with it, or why that would.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depends on how they record. Sports Radar records this information, and they might have decided that's how you do it. Okay, so let's just kind of step forward with that. select sequence. So now I'm just going to subset back down to the fields that I care about. Description, type. And I'm going to get rid of reference and ID. So now we have a supplementary table we're going to call Tibble to join it all together for us. Because these are going to be all data frames, it does it fairly nicely, and because they all have the same number of rows, it will yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey,
The nice thing about Tibbles is they strictly enforce like some thoughts that the authors have, and some of those is they're not pro recycling. So recycling is like when you do a data frame and you have one vector that is of length 9 and another vector of length 3, it'll recycle the vector of length 3 times so that it matches. Right. That leads to so many bad mistakes and bugs.
Right. Well, we saw that. We saw that when we did the bind calls with the names and the player 12. It just recycled the first player for every single column rather than depositing in an A, which is like horribly dangerous.
Yes. So I guess we can't exactly directly compare Ben Baldwin's to ours anymore. But we can make sure that we end up with similar ones from, let's say, rows 2 to 20 of 21 of Ben's should match 2 to but we're going to need to do intersection. So I'm going to make sure that we're only using, is it union? It's not union. Set. So set diff is when you want the set of differences.
Yeah.
But I want to have the intersect between the two column names that exist for Ben's data set and our data set.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the same column names anymore because we have that additional player for home.
Yep.
Away. One of the two. And I'm going to do the same thing for us. So now these two in theory should match because 2 through 21. So this will be 1 through 20 for us. Should match 2 through 21. Expect equivalent.
Okay, error. Not equivalent to big intersect H1. 8 strings match. 13.
Alrighty, let's see what's going on here.
My hunch maybe is that player names aren't sorted the same way.
That might be. I mean, it should be similar. So let's do 2. So 8 string mismatches. So 2 through 21, H1. And then we do our data set. So that's big dat. 1 through 20. Oh.
Yeah, see, they're not sorted the same way.
Did I flip it? I flipped the logic.
Yeah.
So it should be 2 through 21 for us, and it should be 1 through 20 for
1 through 20 for him because he started, Now it works. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Hey,
all right, so we're matching for that. Cool.
We're good there.
Alrighty, we don't need to do this conversion anymore. These play names, we don't really need to do this anymore. No, so what we've
already handled that.
But if we wanted to correct the column names, we'd want to probably do this here. With a rename.
Yeah, rename, yep.
So play ID is equal to sequence. Time is equal to clock. I like to move stuff up as early as possible so that I don't get confused later on when I'm like, wait, what's this field? So no, it'd be the other way around.
Flip that around. Yeah, there you go.
So this is the right-hand side is the field you currently have. Left-hand side is what you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
Just stating that so that folks are aware.
Yep.
Cool, so we'll do that. Badoop. We matched her. Oh, so now play ID doesn't match. Oh, because Ben's count was off.
his play ID starts at 55 and ours starts at 40. Wasn't that the play sequences, I think, when you ran them?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we can do another quick check on that. Play.
Okay, ID. Here.
Play ID.
There we go.
Shabloom?
55, there you go. And I think ours starts at 40?
Yes. But if I go to 2 to 21...
But if you start to 2, yeah, if you start at 2, we should be good.
Oh. That's
How
not
do we
intended.
have all 4768?
Play ID table. It's all 4768.
No, that doesn't make sense. Let's go back up there for a second. Type. Can you just... Let's just look at the type. Yeah. Let's see what that is.
This is awful to look at here. Let me throw this into a view. So piping into a view will make it so we can look at it a little bit nicer here.
There you go. Sequence. Oh, you know what? You changed type to play type. I think. Wait, in the rename, did we mess up something there?
Sequence to type. Type to play type. Should all be right.
That is correct.
Let's check this out quickly. Let's do a head. So that's all correct still. Did I?
Are our numbers characters and his are numeric?
I'm a moron.
Does not equal. We were only looking at one.
I was only looking at the deleted one.
We're only looking at one.
But see, that's recycling right there. That is recycling right there. It silently recycled because we only had one record, and so it repeats it for everything.
Yeah.
There we go.
Brutal. Okay. So 0 existing data size.
What?
Yep.
Oh. What? But
deleted does not equal true is correct.
Well, yeah, that was correct, but this would be the only place that we're filtering.
Yeah, that's weird.
The supplementary is now that. And so let's just do is.true is false. True. Is true. Deleted. Or what would be easier?
How about a
character? equals or not equals. True.
Does not equal true. No.
That's not it. So wait.
Can we see that column again? That deleted column. What is it?
View supplementary. NA. So that's why, because filters remove NAs, any value that has to be true false, and so that's really annoying.
You need to do it is NA. We want to keep it.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
That's a strange way to record it, rather than being consistent value and being true false. It's deleted true if you are deleting it, and NA otherwise.
Yeah.
Woof.
Weird. Okay.
Woof.
Now we should be good. Now we're good. Okay. There we go.
Yes. So I don't think.
We don't need that.
Don't need that.
And we don't need this. We do need aliases. Yeah.
So we'll leave that in. We do need the week and we do need the season, but maybe I was going to say we could subset it to keep it, but this code is fine.
That part's actually fine. Like you're just dropping a column in. I guess you could put it all in a mutate. Big dat equals big dat mutate, and then
that might be easier.
It's nicer than having each specific line. I guess that makes it look better. But
here, let's do that, and then wait for this. Delete.
How'd you do that?
Oh, okay. So RStudio has shortcuts, right?
I've never seen that shortcut.
Shortcuts are real nice. So you press Alt, and then your cursor becomes a thing that can select across multiple rows, right?
What if you're on a Mac?
I'm sure they have a shortcut there. I know a lot of the developers at RStudio are Mac folks.
Yeah. I'd have to look it up. Look at that's amazing.
So now we can write across all of them. We can move around, and now we have 4 rows here.
Oh, that is so cool. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So this is like my lazy way of like if you had to update all of these to like, oh shoot, that should be actually 2.
I love it.
But let's get back to our code. I am going our code, not our code. We're gonna badoop. There we go, and that will all be happy now. Pipe that over to the second mutate. This looks fine to me. I couldn't think of a better way to do. I can't think of a better. I mean, I'm also
just doing a bit of lubricate to change the time into second.
My one thing, just thinking out loud now, is maybe just doing a case when. So that lag, do that.
And so, what was it before? Sorry.
It was an if else.
Oh, if else. Okay, yeah.
And then, but then it has to check if it's NA increment.
Yeah, and the case when is going to turn it into character. I think he wants it numeric.
It'll keep it as a numeric. That's like the nice thing. Case when is type sensitive for the output type.
Oh, okay.
So type sensitive. So it'll actually yell at you if it's not supposed to work. Oh, so this is he's trying to identify. Oh, this is the last value, so it's an A. So make it 0. So well, let's just leave it. I think what he had.
I mean, I think it looks like it worked pretty well. There wasn't a lot to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I tend to like to solve everything in a single statement, so that way there's less do this, do that, to the other.
Yeah.
But I think this is fine here. So boom.
Okay.
Objective.
Type varic. Where is it? Scroll up a little bit. I think we have a red X coming up. Oh,
well,
commas.
it helps if I put commas in. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's run that. That'll work. Run all of that. That'll work. So now we have our data set.
Yay.
And that's everything.
So the last bit here is literally to wrap all those steps into one single function.
So that way you can pass the this URL to it.
Yeah. So then you could use map over that function and pass like 20 games or 100 games or however many games you have the guts for.
How much you're willing to test it out for.
That's right. Yeah.
Alrighty. So let's set that up. Let's set that up at the very bottom here.
Yeah.
So
we could probably get rid of the glimpse hashtag stuff.
This output here, so because we don't need that anymore. Thanks for that though, Ben. That was helpful.
Yeah, super useful.
All right, so now let's just do sports radar play by play.
Play by PvP, yeah, sure.
So let's call it function. Let's let them pass the URL.
And it's always a URL. Yep. Okay.
So we're gonna allow you to pass that. We're gonna game URL.
Yep.
URL. That way, because there's URL is a function technically too. So there's that. Then we're gonna drop in
all of this stuff.
Do we want it to print which game it is?
No, I think it didn't look like in his final output that came up. Like that seemed like to be his sort of sanity check that he got the game he wanted. I feel like maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking that might be a good sanity check too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we'll throw that in. We like this.
Yeah.
Badoop, badoop.
Okay, so now they're going to pass the URL. They get...
we don't need this anymore.
No.
We're going to pull this out. So, alrighty. And that's it. That's all she wrote. So what we've got here is we took all the stuff that we just wrote and we dropped it into a function here. So you can pass the game URL. It'll load that in. It'll then print out what games or which teams played in which week.
Yep.
It'll extract the home players, the away players. Here, let me throw in. I do this to make sure that things don't get lost. I put functions within functions that I'm only going to use within that function. Functionception. So home players, away players, supplementary information about the sequence, the clock, the description, the type, whether it was deleted. We removed the deleted plays, renamed them to what Ben wanted it, merged it together with this tibble here, did some final mutations to track home team, away team, which week, which season, and then calculate quarters remaining. So we built all that up. So now we can do
Sports radar
TidyX. TidyX play-by-play. Now it's going to be the result of Sports Radar play-by-play, and I'm going to pass in that URL that he gave us up here.
And there we go.
So
there's our little sanity check.
And then we can just do a head on this, and there we go. We've got everything. The H12 is there. It's due to the potential 12 players.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to run this over multiple teams, you could use the map function and pass, a whole string of
games.
A whole string of URLs.
So then it would be like let's go over there and see if we can grab a couple of them.
Yeah, maybe that's possible.
Sport radar. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom.
So while we're grabbing this, just to recap, whenever, like for anybody who's getting started in writing functions and doing things like this, literally the way that we just did it is the way that I do. I write every element out manually instead of just starting. I think when I first started to try and write functions, I would jump right in and be like, okay, how am I going to write this function? And it becomes so overwhelming. So you just start by writing each element and making sure you get exactly what you want. And then once you have what you want, just pin the brackets around that and give it a name and you're done.
So it looks like he only has just that one game there, so we can't loop over it. But basically, at least to demonstrate how do you do it. But what we could do is we're going to be silly and we're going to paste this
wrap it 5 times or something.
So now we're going to do that, and then we can just do a map, either a DFR or just a map.
A map should work, right?
Yeah, and then sports radar, play-by-play.
Yep.
Boop, boop, boop,
and
boop.
it's just going to chunk that out.
And then now if we do an STR on multi-games, it's each game, or the same game 5 times.
The same game 5 times, correct.
But,
and if you didn't want to pipe those things together, you could have saved all of those URLs as multi-game, and you could have typed map, parentheses, multi-game, comma, function, sports radar, PvP, and you would have gotten the same output.
Yeah, it would have done multi-games output.
Yep. You could have done
Though if you're using map and per, you're probably into the tidyverse stuff.
Yeah.
So
just for people who want to know how those things work, though.
But
pretty simple. I guess the only thing that we could do left to do would be to go into the function and just write little comments over top of each thing so that everybody knows what's going on. So that first one reads the URL. This one, sanity check. Read URL.
Reads RDS URL. And here you can get fancier too if you wanted to not have it be an RDS every time.
Like if it's RDS, if it's CSV, if it's whatever.
Player names. Home team.
Home players.
Players.
Away team players, which is already there.
Yeah. Supplementary.
Yeah. Play info.
Join all together.
Join all data.
Assuming one thing to state too is we're assuming that each row corresponds to each, it's equivalent across the entire thing.
Yes.
Otherwise, we'd have to come up with identifiers between all of them, which is possible. I think I saw a long play ID for each of those, but
I think those were player IDs though. I don't think the player portion had a play ID, which made this more difficult.
Mm-hmm. And then this is final data clean up addition of time. So the quarter.
And then we're all good.
Yeah, and I guess one nice thing is...
Oh, you spelled quarter wrong.
Horror.
Horror.
And then one thing, nice thing to do, you don't have to do this in R, is signifying that you're returning what you're returning. You don't have to do that.
It is a good way to end the function because it very cleanly, it explicitly tells the person using it where it ended.
Mm-hmm. Nice. But boom, there you go. As you can see, you kind of heard us think through some things, definitely make some wrong turns as we went through to try to figure out what this data was, how we needed to be processing it. But I think we functionalized it now, and maybe this can be used for some other stuff that Ben's got going on in cooking.
Cool.
But yeah, this was fun.
That's cool. Well, thank you, Ben, for providing some code for us to mess around with.
Mm-hmm. It's always, really cool. I think it's a lot of fun to see how other people approach problems, because obviously the way that we approach these different problems are shaped by our historical knowledge of various things and how we've tackled problems in the past. So that's just like a good thing to remember. And when you're looking at other people's code, is they're just thinking about it differently than you are. It's not anything else.
Yeah.
Or they might just not know about a function, because there might be a function here because it's JSON or it looks like JSON to me.
Yeah, I think it is. There's probably like JSON Lite or something that would have done this in a way easier way than we just did.
Parse it into a data frame for you. I mean, it would be
straight away
massive. But yeah, so that'd be another thing to look at too.
Yeah, right.
But that's for later. But thank you so much for joining us today for TidyX episode 37. My name is Ellis Hughes. You can find me on Twitter at Ellis_Hughes.
And my name is Patrick Ward. You can find me on Twitter at OSPPatrick. And you can find the Tidy Explained screencast on Twitter at Tidy_Explained. Or you can drop us an email, ideas, thoughts. Maybe you have some code that you'd like us to kind of talk through or you're having trouble with. Feel free to send it in. That's tidy.explained@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you so much. And keep on exploring your world.